Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the All Balls Sports Show, a discussion of any and all sports, local, regional, and national. And now, here are your hosts, Dan Janes, Eddie Bobo, Ty Cobb, and the coach, Vance Ballou.
Thank you, Bill Jones. Welcome into the All the Ball Sports Show for this 13th day. Oh, did we forget Valentine's is tomorrow of February 2019.
What does that mean?
What that means is if you haven't done your Valentine's Day shopping, Walgreens will be open until midnight, I'm sure.
Well, Walmart's open all night.
And they got plenty of stuff. And the Easter stuff's pushing the Valentine's out.
Really?
Yeah. Hell, they've had Easter for 2 weeks.
Goodness gracious.
We don't have seasons anymore.
4th of July will be on shelf next week.
Wait a minute, man. NASCAR season's coming up, too.
Yeah, but that's a no-contact sport.
In some
Not
area.
what Jimmy Johnson did, though.
It depends on where you are.
It is now. It wasn't. But it is now.
Top of the show, Mid-State Classic coming up March 12th
That's
at
right.
Ridley Sports Complex. Get your tickets, 388-8119.
About a month away.
$10.
4 weeks.
Where can you get such enjoyment for 10 small dollars?
See some good softball.
I'm telling you. Vol State, Columbia State, first game of the day about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Evening game at 6 will feature the Middle Tennessee State University Lady Raiders against the Lady Vols.
And the autograph session will be held before the game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do like Auburn did that year and get out of town. Just saying. Not being critical. Just saying what I know.
Well, I'd say I'm the same way. When the game's over, something's over, I like to get out. So
Yeah, well, see, you got licensed sirens, man. You can do that.
maybe that's why.
So how are things in the city of Columbia Fire and Rescue?
Oh, rocking and rolling. Actually saw your son today. We were filming a segment for What's Kicking Columbia, spotlight on Columbia Fire and Rescue, and he does good work with that and working with the city to promote what different departments are doing. So there's a lot going on. We're getting ready for budgets and reviewing budgets, and got the Mid-State Classic coming up. There's just, you all know there's a lot of energy in Columbia and a lot going on downtown and just throughout the whole city. So every department at the City of Columbia is busy with a lot going on.
There's a new electrical feeling going on in this town. The way it's expanding, the way it's growing, downtown growing as big as it is. Does that put an extra burden on you guys?
Absolutely. And we've seen our call volume go up because of it. And then you have to look at the Fire Marshal and Coast Division and what they handle with building permits and planning reviews and inspections. And Billy Ring and Nathan Keaton handle that. Anthony Davis just retired. So then our crews go in and inspect and pre-plan buildings also. So it's a heavy workload there. When you're talking, I think the last maybe 2,300 businesses just in the city limits that they have to inspect and review, and that's not counting new and upcoming businesses.
But they're having to go back on the older buildings that
Correct.
people are redoing, and those have to be brought up to code. Correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
Sure do. They had to follow current code, and that can be challenging for some older buildings depending on what it's being reclassified as. But downtown has seen, with a good economy, just a lot of improvement to the buildings in the downtown area, and I think it's really exciting. I tell you, you could park anywhere. Now everybody's downtown shopping, and you have to maybe make the block a time or two. But that's something. That's something else. The
10
city's
times
doing
of the day for us.
the city's doing a parking study to try to see the best way to work the
I'm
traffic.
thinking like a 10-level parking
problem.
garage would be a great idea.
I don't know if that's necessarily the answer. It's the quick answer, but we have some parking places in place now. I mean, I think it's just we got to come up with a system based off this study and implement it. But I mean, that's a thought. It's an expense too. But I'm interested to see what the study shows.
I'm saying right back there where the county has their parking, and behind Joey Allen's building. Just put a big 10-story job up there, and that'll take care of all of it.
You know,
Now,
back
if you
when-
build one this time, though, make sure that the levels are where an ambulance can get up through there.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's
that
true.
is important.
However, that's probably where the Justice Center at some point will probably go back there.
I would think so.
Yeah.
You know,
But we'll
time
see.
will tell.
We'll see. We'll find out. Anyway, Mid-State Classic coming up on March 12th. They have backed it up 30 days, so we're back into the weather situation. But that's okay. We'll get it in there. We'll get it done. We'll get her done. Guarantee you we will. Hey, Jason Hoath is here, head coach, Columbia football, in the middle of a Boston butt sale. All kinds of jokes were flying around here before we took to the air. And $35.
Yes, sir.
So this is what, our third year for doing that?
Our third year doing it. You know, first 2 years were really successful. $35 each, and it gets you anywhere between 8 to 10 pounds of barbecue. It's really it's a whole, the whole experience is pretty neat on my end of it because the guy comes in on Friday night, and myself and a handful of other football players will actually help prepare the barbecue, and we'll help season it and put it on their smokers.
Please tell me
Yeah.
these football players are wearing gloves.
Oh yeah, we're all wearing gloves.
I'm
That's
just
a good thing.
saying. I know some of these guys.
Food quality gloves.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And the guy comes in, he's got this huge trailer, these huge
Yeah.
smokers on the back of the trailer, and we cook about 400 of them, and cooks them all night, and they're ready to pick up Saturday morning. They're ready to eat. You can either pick them up, eat them that day, or you can freeze them. And I tell you, it's been successful the past 2 years, so we're hoping for another big turnout this year.
Matter of fact, we printed up 600 tickets.
Yeah,
so
we
we're
did.
hoping for a big sale. So
Well,
get yours today.
you know,
Great deal on these things. You can get one for 35 or two for 70. So you can
That's right. That's
however
right.
However you want to cut it, it's going to be a great deal.
So how many would 3 be?
105.
He's already got that figured out. Not only is he a mathematician, he's also a football coach.
Where's the discount?
If Dan James wants to buy 17, how many would it be?
I have to get my calculator out for that one.
Calculator's over here, but I'm leaving it in the drawer.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have a good turnout. We're trying to raise money for some new weight room equipment that's much needed at this point. So hopefully we can get a huge profit out of that to get a good chunk of it set aside. So that's the goal for this year. Last year we were able to buy I think 30 new pairs of shoulder pads through this fundraiser, so which was also much needed at the time. So now we're looking to take the next step. So see if we can make some more improvements where we can.
Now, have you got the field house like you wanted? Are you still working on it? Did you get all the dressing rooms fixed up?
Yeah, the locker room's done. I got to fix part of the floor. I got to redo part of the floor that I messed up on. So we'll wait
What
until the
did you
offseason.
do?
Oh, it's a funny story. So, I got this nice big lion head logo that I put right in the middle of the floor. I make it look real good, and it's got polyurethane over the top of it. So I just went back there and grabbed one of the cans of polyurethane the whole thing, and had this yellowish tint. I think, what? Why is it colored like this? So I looked at the polyurethane, and it was the tinted polyurethane that I used. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So over time, it has gotten more and more yellow. It looked like maybe somebody had used the bathroom on it. So I was like, this has got to go. So I peeled it up yesterday, actually, and so I got to repaint that section of the floor and then maybe redo the logo again. So use clear polyurethane this time, of course.
Who did the logo?
It was one of those companies. It might have been like a company like Sports Decals or something. Just I get stuff in the mail all the time, so I just look through. I know.
Just tell them you guys screwed up.
I know.
Come on
Send me
back.
another one.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was nice when I first laid it down, but then when I put that polyurethane on it, kind of messed it up.
Send them a picture of it.
So look what y'all sent me.
Yeah. Look what you did.
I know.
What's wrong with my logo?
I know. But locker rooms, it's good. So, we painted the hallway last year. The gridiron did, and which made it look better. And I kept all the old trophies from the old school, because we cleared out all the trophies. I kept all those, so I just got to get some shelving up in that hallway so I can re-put those trophies back up. At least, I got one dating back to like 1932, and it's pretty cool just to see the evolution, I guess, of trophies over the years and how they've changed. So,
well, please don't let the football team go through Trophygate.
now you're gonna have to explain that to me.
Well, when
I don't know.
When the band moved from the old building
Okay.
that they were cleaning out,
Oh, the trash cans.
the dumpster out back was filled with lots of things that a lot of people treasured, even though they were like third, fourth, fifth place trophies.
Yeah.
They were really not what I would consider to be of value.
Right.
Now, if you'd have had a first place trophy from some place that my kid went,
Right.
but they didn't. These
Right.
were all like third, fourth, and fifth place trophies.
Right.
So there was a big controversy
Yeah.
about that.
I remember that.
I
That's
also
my
heard
God.
some of them wound up underneath the concrete flooring of part of the new school.
Don't know. I don't know anything about that.
And I think that's what I heard from.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, but that's why I got them all out, just to avoid them being thrown away, because
Yeah.
it's part of the school's history and stuff. So I wanted to keep them. So, but yeah, it's still a work in progress. But we're much further along than we were a few years ago. That's for sure.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Because you guys went through, like the band program did too, you went through a period of time where you didn't have a home.
Yeah, that was rough.
You had a home, but you really didn't have a home.
Right.
You had a place to go, but you didn't have a home.
Right. It was a time-consuming process. When it just takes patience. I mean, it's eventually going to get there. And I remind myself of that a few times. That hey, it's okay. We're going to get there. It's going to be all right. So.
All right. So what do we look like for spring practice?
A lot of unanswered questions. That's for sure. And as it is every year. We lost some playmakers off last year's team. We've been working hard in the weight room, trying to get stronger. The good thing is, we have 4 offensive linemen coming back. They're not big, big guys. Not like the Russell Wagners and Drew Williamsons we had a few years ago. But they all got 10 games under their belt this year. They work hard. They're scrappy, so that's good. Dane Sykes probably be the projected quarterback, but he's in baseball, so he'll be missing spring football, which will be good for Brady McCandless. Brady fractured his shoulder last year, and he missed the entire season. So it'd be a good opportunity for him to get some reps and to see, if he's going to be a contender for that spot as well at the quarterback position. So.
But he's all limbered up playing basketball.
Yeah, he's better now. He's all healed up now, which I'm glad. So, we're trying to recruit the hallway still, trying to get some other guys out playing. That's an every year thing, but I'm looking forward to spring and seeing what we can do. It's always, at this point last year I was unsure, and we had a good spring football, last year, and our season didn't end up the way we wanted it to, but we 4-6, but we very easily could have been 7-3 after losing so many players from the year before. So we'll see. But I'm excited about it. We got a scrimmage May 3rd with Gallatin. They'll be coming down here, so it'll be exciting for us to, butt heads with somebody else for a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of gauge. Yep.
Everybody good at home?
Yes, sir. Doing good. Doing good. Kids are growing like weeds, and I got no money anymore to support them. And of course, my oldest will be coming to high school next year. He's been on here before, so he's excited about it. So they're finishing up with middle school basketball now, so he's working out now at home and trying to prepare him mentally.
You mean you're not slotting it over into the weight training at Columbia Central?
A little bit. I mean, I know technically we can't do it, so he's just my son working out.
I'm not saying anything about technically.
I'm
just saying.
While I'm waiting, while he's waiting for workouts to be over with, so he can go home.
There you go.
While he's waiting on Dad to get through.
That's
work,
right.
He's fooling around with some weights.
Right. That's exactly what he's doing.
He's not doing sanctioned.
Right.
Events,
Right. He's
in
not.
the weight room.
So I got my 11-year-old over there too. Trying to get him conditioned up because they're about to start their winter workouts for Whitthorne too. So trying to fix all their technique issues. That way they can do it safely. So
that makes sense. What about Eric? How's he doing?
He's doing good. We saw him last weekend. He's organizing a golf tournament right now as a fundraiser, so he's hitting into that too. And
like he doesn't know how to do that.
That's true. He does have some experience there.
Oh
and,
yeah.
It is good. Of course, that's golf course community there with all the retirement center and Fairfield Glade and all that. So doing a golf tournament there could be really big.
They have a nice
lot of golfers.
public course up there.
Oh, they have probably a dozen.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big golf area. It's a big retirement area. So Fairfield Glade is just a huge complex. It probably has 5 or 6 courses itself. So really nice courses. So that should go well. But he's hiring a staff, working on that, and getting ready for spring practice, just like Coach Hoath is.
So will the former state championship coach go up and help him with this golf tournament?
I will at least play in it. No doubt. I guess we'll kind of come down to how much work has to be done the day of.
So you'll cast a little money toward the cause.
Oh yeah, at least a green fee.
There
So
you go.
We'll see.
There you go. Dylan Rabior golf tournament coming up April 27th.
Yes, it'll be coming pretty fast, no doubt. Hopefully we'll have another 30-something teams involved. Been pushing that mark recently. We need people to bring their own golf cart if they can. That really, we have more people wanting to play the last 3 or 4 years than we had golf carts, so that'll certainly help, and helping raising funds as well. More golfers, the more we're going to clear to help with the scholarships over at Golden Central High School. And a little bit different this time. I'm going to do one for a football player and one for somebody from the entire
Student body.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm excited about the golf tournament this year because Bob Vassar's always on my team, and he gets to hit from like the further up tees this year.
Senior.
So what are you referring to, Coach?
I'm
With
saying-
this old guy.
He's a ringer.
I'm saying he can play, and he's gonna make me look better as a golfer because I need all the help I can get. So
See, there's an advantage to becoming 64 to 65
That's
years
right.
old.
that's right.
You get to hit from the closest tee.
Yeah, we were talking about that last year. He's like, next year I'm gonna be hitting up there. I'm like, that's right.
Wow. But anyway, if they want to contact someone about the Dylan Rabior, and we get the application forms out there anyway. But if somebody wants to participate, what do they do, Coach?
There are the flyers to fill out are available out at Stony Brook itself. They're also sending out a lot of stuff through emails that they do. They can pick up an application at Central High School. We've got some at the front desk. All they got to do is pull through the front circle, walk inside. They'll give them an application right there, and a matter of a couple of minutes, you've got it and got it all taken care of. And we're trying to get people to pay up front more this year. That'll help us with our organization and allow it to go a whole lot smoother next year or this coming year, and be able to get people off and started at the 8 o'clock start time.
All right, good deal. University of Tennessee in behind us, in case you can see it on your screen. What's the score, Ty?
49-36 at halftime.
Okay.
Tennessee might run away with it second half. Worse.
Hope so.
I hope so too.
What about Saturday with Kentucky?
Good game.
I think Tennessee will be ready. I think it's going to be. I mean, it's the biggest test of the year for them. But
The most interesting thing I've seen.
they played harder teams.
It's kind of like the 2010 team for football that we had. We stayed underneath the radar the entire season. University of Tennessee is staying underneath the radar, and they're number 1 in the country.
For like 4 weeks straight.
Well, and right now the early projections on the brackets is that if it ended right now, even Tennessee being number 1 in the nation, they'll be the number 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Duke's going to be the number 1 seed.
Uh-huh.
They're saying, so.
I'm good with that.
Makes you fight harder.
Yep. And they'll probably lose a game before the end of the year. They've got LSU and still 2 games with Kentucky, and they got to play at Ole Miss. So
then you got the whole SEC tournament.
That's exactly right. So and that's okay. A loss will, especially in basketball, can just get you more focused.
Right.
So I don't think
if you're going to have one, you want to have it before
not during NCAA tournament.
The final tournaments, right?
Yeah. That is true. Some other football news. Joe Flacco is reportedly going to Denver.
Yes, he is. Shane Falco.
And they're saying, well, let me see what I have here. John Elway once saw Joe Flacco steal a shot at a Broncos Super Bowl title away from Denver, and now he's going to give Flacco a chance to bring the Broncos a title. On Wednesday, news broke that Denver has agreed to acquire the former Super Bowl MVP in a trade with the Ravens, the first domino to fall on the offseason quarterback market.
And they got him for a mid-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I think he might have a few years left in him. I'm not sure how many years he's got, but I mean, he's a proven quarterback. He's not always in your top tier, but in the right system, maybe he might be able to help him out.
Think he's that solid?
I'd give him a year. If he doesn't do it after a year, if there's not a lot of progress, I'd be looking somewhere else because he's got to be getting close to the end of his career as it is.
Is the quarterback market that open right now for NFL?
Well, it's hard to say. I don't know.
How many rings has Flacco got?
I think one. Yeah. But talking about quarterbacks, though, like I was watching, sports the other day, and it's like, who do you take, Kyler Murray or Dwayne Haskins, in the draft? I don't know.
The only thing that has me concerned about Murray, and I know you can point back to Flutie, is his height.
Right.
That's the only drawback that I see. But his other abilities far outshine that. So
they do, and it's like Russell Wilson,
That's right.
If you can be a smart, athletic quarterback.
Well, I mean, if the line gives the throwing lanes for him to throw, then they ought to be able to play. I mean,
It's like Russell Wilson, like I think about him and like RG3. RG3 wasn't going out of bounds, and that's why he's not playing anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he was just smaller than nobody. He would get killed, but Russell Wilson knows when to slide or knows when to he doesn't get hit in games.
But doesn't that fall back to ball management? And you're being same thing with Titans quarterback.
Mariota. Yeah.
Same thing with him. He doesn't get rid of the ball. Get rid of the ball, you don't get that hit.
Right. I mean, if you can not get hit, then you'll be okay. But Dwayne Haskins is he's huge. He's got a rocket for an arm, so I don't know. That'll be an interesting thing when the draft comes over for those two.
One thing they're saying about this AAF is it's quarterback development league for the NFL.
And I can see that.
That's one of the benefits. But of course, we got a lot of Spurriisms. Right off the bat.
I can imagine.
First game.
Yeah, but I like the way these guys play.
It was good
quarterback
football.
will take a hit.
It was good football.
Quarterback will take a hit, lose his helmet, lose the ball.
I saw that.
And a few other things. When he was doing inventory.
Yeah, I know.
But I like it when
kind of like Drew
Spurrier called a pass play again and said, "Tell him to catch it this time."
Yeah. Or like in the replacements, we're going to run the same play.
That's right.
And you're going to catch the ball this time. This ain't natural.
This ain't natural, Coach. What are they going to do, fire you?
Then he couldn't get rid of the cup.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. Did you get a chance to catch the AFF?
I just saw some highlights here and there, but I haven't had a chance to watch a game yet or anything. So,
well, it came on the other night, and I'm sitting there watching. And it came on. It's like there's like 4 people in the stands, and this is like 20 minutes before game time, and then like 5 minutes before game time, there's like 12 people in the stands, and I'm thinking, is this thing going to be able to work? Because they're obviously they're cast off NFL players, cast off NFL wannabe players,
right?
They're having to pay them something.
Yeah, they have to.
And who's footing the bill on this thing? I mean, where's the money coming from?
I have no clue.
It's well funded. Bill Polian's in charge of it, former GM of the Colts, and I think it's got some NFL backing. because it's got a ton of NFL people, football people running it, and that's why they're saying it's probably going to make it. It's a developmental league.
Kind of like minor league for baseball, huh?
They're not trying to compete with the NFL. They're developmental.
Well, you know,
that's what they say they are.
There's a lot of places. The European League they had,
right.
You know, and a lot of those countries now still wanted to have their team, you know, still play. But
they're still talking about putting a team in London.
Right. So.
Did y'all hear anything about the XFL coming back? I've heard
that
rumor too.
It's
2020.
2020.
So we're gonna have the NFL, the AAF,
me.
and the XFL.
Is that Vince McMahon? And
Well, he's the one who originally started, so I don't know if it's
He's-
him.
he's-
Is he doing it again?
He's re-kicking it up.
You ever see that like Sports Center special on that? That's an interesting watch. So
Anything that McMahon has hands in, I ain't so sure. I'm sorry.
But it'll
and
There's
I know
some
that our,
got to be
that
some
our
under the
YouTube-
table dealings on something.
Well, I know that our YouTube broadcasts go worldwide, but I'm sorry, but anything that this guy's got his hands in, when you look at wrestling,
I just hope they pull that wrestling drama into the games before and afterward.
Do the diamond cutter on a tackle or something.
Have them come out there and talk trash to each other, like
Instead of warm-ups. That's interesting.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do the power drives.
That's right.
Right there in midfield.
Yeah.
That'll get a crowd.
Instead of a
Everybody
coin
be
toss,
in
that's
there.
a pile drive.
Instead of a coin toss, we're gonna have a 3-minute cage
Part of the
match.
scoring goes,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
if you do a good move, you get points for
Yeah,
it.
there you go. That's it.
That's right.
A row of
Hockey's doing
judges.
now.
There's a row of judges taking score on this line of players.
Mix in a little
10,
gymnastic
9,
scoring judges. 10, 9, 8,
Yep.
whatever.
6.6. Oh, he's bad. Very bad. Well, apparently, one of the first things that Bill Belichick, of course, we all know about him, probably the winningest coach ever, did after winning the Super Bowl was change the name of his boat. Less than a week after topping the Rams 13-3 in Super Bowl 53, Belichick's boat was spotted in the wild with a new name, V111 Rings. So now it's 8 rings. For the past 2 years, Belichick has been sailing around Massachusetts and Florida in a boat named 7 Rings. Belichick named the boat 7 Rings because up until February 3rd, he had won a total of 7 Super Bowl rings, 5 as a head coach of the Patriots and 2 as an assistant with the Giants. Of course, with the win over the Rams, Belichick now has 8 rings, and his boat now has a brand new name, accordingly.
Is he going to change it this next year to 9? IX?
Maybe.
Well, that's something else he's done that I've not done. I have not had to change the name of my boat. What about you?
I haven't.
So
Yeah, and as I recall, on a former show, there was somebody said that they were supposed to win 4 Super Bowls.
no, 4 Heisman trophies.
4 Heisman trophies.
That's right.
Talking about Shaq, and
Yeah.
you couldn't dream it up that good.
No.
Playing 3 Super Bowls in 4 years.
No. You won 4 AFC championship games too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
yeah, that's quite. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
And I don't think we really ever said congratulations to Shaq for what he's done over the past 4 seasons.
It's been outstanding.
I'm just blown away
Yeah.
by it.
absolutely. Again, you can't dream it up that
No,
good.
no.
It's just, and for him to be as humble he has and give back to the community the way he has, it's just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a real big deal for McDowell. He gave them all tablets, gave them all blankets and
Yeah.
sleepwear and
Okay.
things like. Yeah, it was really nice,
Yeah,
really
it
super
was.
nice.
Yeah.
So
A
it was
lot
nice
of
deal.
lot of happy kids on that floor.
There was.
Oh, there were,
Doing
yeah.
everything.
Yeah. So anyway, what else is going on in the world of sports, boys? I've got other stuff here, but I'm just going to toss it out there. What about you, Ty Cobb? I know you said you went
Tennessee's
to.
ranked number 1.
Well, I know
No,
Tennessee's ranked number
we wanna
1,
talk about
but
that.
what? Yeah, well, what I want to talk about is the electricity inside of the Summit in Thompson Bowling Arena.
It was electric Saturday. I was there for the Florida Tennessee game.
game.
Yep. Good game, and Thompson Bowling Arena is packed, and
Was there a lot of chomping going on?
checkerboard, a lot of chomping after the game.
But the
I
thing
got involved in that.
But I got to give the Tennessee team credit. They did not do that at home the way that they did that on the road at Florida.
Yeah, but they wouldn't talk to as ugly at home as they were in Gainesville.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would have done the chomp down there too if I'd have been in uniform. No, Rick Barnes wasn't happy about that, which I can't blame him, but I wouldn't have been happy with what
transpired to
I
his
can only
players.
imagine in Gainesville what was being said to him.
You think Texas is upset that he's gone?
I think that was a dumb move by Texas to let Rick.
But thank
Rick
God they
Barnes
did it.
go. Yeah. But no, he's exceeded my expectations when he came to Tennessee.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe 3 or 4 years and average seasons, and he would
Yeah,
retire.
be in
But he's been
the
all
big
in.
show, but
Yeah.
you know,
just not. I mean, you talk about turning a program, I mean, into something. I mean, this is a season to remember the way Tennessee is continue to win, and I mean,
yeah. Right now, the only loss is
Kansas.
And they did, and that was overtime.
yep, should have won that game.
Should have won that game.
Very impressive.
Do Tennessee players actually know how good they are?
I think Rick Barnes keeps them.
Humble?
Yeah, his style. I
Well,
was
what
reading off a story yesterday. He was talking about. I think he played for a school that beat a top team in high school. It's the only game they won all year, and he said he's aware of how anybody can be beat any given night, which is true in any sport. I mean, not just basketball.
Well, what I like about is they are playing as a team.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing like they got 1 or 2 superstars and try to,
Well,
give
interesting
them the
point.
ball all the time.
Interesting point made on 104.5 the other day. They said, all right, Bowen gets in foul trouble. Another player steps up, and then another player will step up. Then another player will step up. If anybody gets in foul trouble, doesn't make any difference. They can bring another guy in, and he steps up to take over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way that they play as a unit.
Well, they're deep. They got a deep bench,
Yeah,
And
and they use it.
you can go through them: Bone, Bowden, Turner,
He uses
mean,
his bench.
Williams, Schofield. I mean,
Williams, how awesome is he from the line?
he against Vanderbilt. What was he? 23 or 23 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be one off, but it was.
It was close.
It was 23. I know he was
It's
perfect.
either
But
22 or 22, 23 or 23. Yeah. He
he's
was
real
awesome.
solid, real good player. And another thing, they're so disciplined and so balanced. But Rick Barnes runs a good program. I mean,
Well, when the boys
not-
are substituted for and the player comes off the court, they immediately stop right there, and Rick Barnes gives him a little feedback, and then he goes sits down.
He thinks about that feedback. Coach, have you ever done that?
What? Stop. No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Couldn't tell which way you.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I think we all have. I mean, that's just part of it.
Yep.
I didn't have a thing where I did it every time. I don't know about Coach there.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask
Not
you
every
that.
time.
When you had to make an attitude adjustment or a adjustment in the moment, how did you handle that? Did you do it with one-on-one with the player? Did you do it with the assistant coach? Did you handle it? Because I mean, during our time, during that 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 11, you really didn't seem like you had players that really gave you problems. But there are some players that do, obviously. So how do you handle that situation?
Yeah, it's like you said. I mean, we didn't have many issues during that time period. Earlier times, off and on, you did, and sometimes it's not an attitude. It's just a mistake, that has to be corrected. I was there 13, 14 years, so we did a lot of different situations, a lot of different ways. Sometimes I corrected it myself or told the assistant coach, or more likely the assistant coach headed it off first, already knew, and situations handled that way. There's not as many, intense confrontations as I guess the average person might think. Is my opinion on that. But I'll let Coach answer more.
Yeah, I think Coach is right that each situation I've come across is different, because these kids are so different now than what they were a long time ago, that you can handle certain kids a certain way and certain kids you can't. Just because we live in an area of all different kinds of demographics, and we've had kids in our team that have been homeless before, that don't go home to parents. We've had kids that go home to a wealthy lifestyle, and sometimes the way you treat kids, you treat them all fairly, but there's some you gotta learn how you can treat them. You gotta build that relationship with them. So I'm kind of like what Coach said. Is I've had to come across that a couple times where I've done it myself, or I've had coaches with me, or my assistant coaches have handled it too. So, and you gotta learn which kids you can yell at, which kids you can yell at in public, which kids you can't yell at in public, and which kids just need to go and put your arm around them, and just kind of learn what they respond best to, and that's just the way you go about doing it, I guess.
Well, the times have changed too. I mean,
Yep.
of what is allowable.
Right, you're right. You're right.
Like way back in my day, you come off the field, and if you done something bad, coach grabbed you by the face mask.
Yeah, can't do that
give you
anymore.
a good talking to, and then kind of push you a
Looking
bit
looking
back
at the
with-
ear hole.
And that necessarily wouldn't even be a hostile move by
No.
the coach either.
No,
It's
he's
just
just
like,
making sure
like
he had your focus.
yeah, like you need to look at me and listen to what I have to say before
Right.
but
Right.
even that.
But the people in the stands don't see it that way.
Right.
And Mama just sees her little Johnny down there, and the coach has got a hold of him, and
Looking out the ear hole.
And things got changed over the years. Now, granted, I don't believe in too strict of a thing, because like you said, there's
Right.
certain players that just don't respond at all to being talked to.
Well, if you've got a kid who's been yelled at all day long
Right.
by another sibling, maybe kids at school, yelling at that child is not going to do you any good.
Yeah, it's not.
Because he's used to it.
Yep.
He's just going to ignore you.
He's learned to turn it
Turn
off.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You're right.
Exactly. Speaking of kids, and I know this was such a tough job you had. 5 days in Orlando
Yeah.
with the cheerleading competition team.
Yep. It was tough. I had to miss school those days, and
Missy
leave
Thompson
those kids
Todd.
behind.
Missy Thompson Todd took those kids down there,
Yep.
and one group, game day group, came in 6th in the nation,
Right. I did.
and the competition group, which included the 5 football players that you
Right.
took, came in 14th. They missed the cut by 1.
By one. Yeah. So
Wow.
fortunate enough to go down. I talked her into it, informed her she needed a male chaperone for those male cheerleaders. So but I really had a good time though. Everybody works hard in all sports. You never want to put anyone down. Like I've never played tennis, but I know those people probably practice pretty hard and then they compete hard. And same thing with all sports. But cheerleading is always one of those sports that you never really know.
You don't know till you watch them.
You don't know, and then you go down there and I got to sit there and watch them practice, watch them compete, and what I was most impressed about is, and I told some of them this too, is when they're at practice, it was all positive. Like they encouraged each other into doing things right. When they messed up, it wasn't griping at each other. They're like, all right, let's do it again. They were very positive about the whole thing, and then watching them compete, it was pretty cool. They can do some pretty good stuff, and even the guys, they're in both the game day and the competition routines, and I was impressed to see how well they did for being all their first year. I mean, just picking those girls up and lifting them over their head and throwing them up in the air, that's tough. That's tough stuff.
The one young lady who's the smallest on the team, who they throw up in the air, how high did she get this time? She almost hit the rafters at Columbia Central's new gym last time.
I mean, if I were to guess, I would probably say
25, 30 feet.
They're throwing up about that high, yeah.
Yeah.
So, which is impressive. But so it's pretty cool getting to watch them all compete. But then it changes your perception on like male cheerleaders, and I say that because Dyer County, who was I think state champs in Tennessee, they were down there, and they had more male cheerleaders than I did females. They had 16 guys on their male competition cheerleading group. And apparently we talked to them. They have a JV squad. They have 47 like total cheerleaders, and like 25 of them were male. And that kind of you don't know that until like you find that stuff out. But and I'm talking about like guys like David Bailey size.
Yeah.
Like football players that are out there. So it was kind of cool, new experience, and I guess gives you a new appreciation for a different sport that I didn't really know too much about. I'd ask questions, kind of trying to figure out what I'm watching. Like, I didn't know when cheerleaders run, they don't move their arms. Everywhere they run, they keep their arms down to the side. Because apparently the arm movement just looks bad, I guess. That's what they said. So they don't move their arms when they run. So that was kind of interesting. But while we're down there, we got to enjoy some of the theme parks in Orlando too. So that was fun. Got to enjoy that.
Now here you are, the one guy with 5 male cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Football players. What did you do at the parks? I got to know. What did you ride?
I rode all the roller coasters. Yeah, I rode them all. Yeah. But, Max was one. He was too scared to get on anything. So,
Really?
Yeah. But, I had to pull some teeth for David Bailey to get on some rides. But, I try to be that good example for him and say, just get on there and ride, So, but it was fun.
You'll love it. Get on there. You'll love it.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Don't worry. No thing can happen. Your head snap off.
That was fun. So today was my first day back to work because I took yesterday off.
Kind of a recovery day.
I had to have a recovery day. We pulled up to the school at 6:30 yesterday morning. I'm going home. I'm not coming to school today. So, but it was fun.
You're a little hoarse.
Yeah, well, I think that's more from the weight room part right now.
Oh, okay.
Because I've kind of more taken on that role this year, full time as our strength coach too. So I guess that comes with the job. We got a little more yelling to do. So.
But did you realize how much athleticism was involved in cheerleading? I mean, it's one of the guys said it's the toughest 2.5 minutes I've ever done.
Well, yeah, because it's constant movement, and what impresses me most is just how synchronized they are. When I'm in church, I can't sing and clap at the same time. It's going to be one or the other, And they're having to like do all these movements, and they're all this counts, all this stuff. I'm like, so that's pretty impressive that they're able to do that. But it was good. I mean, when they were done, they're heading to the water. They got to get some water. They're breathing heavy, so it's good. It's a good workout for them.
So your coaches are Missy Thompson Todd, who's also the sponsor, and then you got Jada Todd, which is her daughter, who cheered at UNA,
right,
and is an outstanding cheerleader, and she's one of the coaches for the team too.
Right. Then you have like two coaches, 2 guys that from the Premier.
Yeah.
They did, and they were down there too. So they were in good hands, and good to see them come a long way. They I think she was saying something like 16 of the 25 people she had in her squad were new this year. So for them to do that successful, that's good. So and then I think they're only losing like 6 seniors off the entire team. So
wow.
Hopefully they will build off of this year, and they got to see.
And you get to go back again next year.
Well, I've already told her. I said, look, if you, it's already worked out.
Oh, so you've already negotiated the next year's contract.
I did, yeah. So I said I'll get you more male cheerleaders as long as I can go next year. So she said, okay.
Look at this. A little blackmail involved in that.
That's right.
I'm thinking maybe they need an AD down there too.
I think they do. I think the
would
AD
be beneficial.
Well, the thing is, here's the deal. Here's how you work that.
Okay.
You're a football coach, and you're the AD of football.
Okay.
Then I think you should have to go as
the football cheerleaders.
Players.
So technically, you're over that too,
and
right?
football cheerleaders.
I want us both to go.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Both of you go.
I'm with you.
Both of you go.
He can do the work, and I can
Golf.
stand around and point like a
That's right.
That's good.
Disney has great golf area.
Yeah, there's some golf courses all around Orlando down there.
I know.
Absolutely.
So what did you do? Which theme parks did you go to? I mean, I'm interested in that. I mean, you,
Yeah, see, we went to.
you got a 5-day vacation. All the rest of us sit
I
up
know.
here.
So we went to
you know.
Universal Studios, and we did Yeah, they have the two parks there. They have the Universal and the Islands of Adventure.
Yeah.
So we did both those in the same day, which was fun. It's a fun place to go to.
Yeah.
But it's different. I went like 20 years ago, and a lot of those rides that were there then, they're different now. So it was cool. Went to Magic Kingdom, of course, which that was fun. It was packed. Went to the Animal Kingdom. Waited in line for that Avatar ride, which was actually pretty cool. All right, it was pretty cool. And then we also went to the Hollywood Studios, where the Tower of Terror and all that stuff is, and the new Toy Story Land. So it was fun.
Did you ride the Tower of Terror?
I would definitely.
You said it was been 20 years since you've been down there. It's been 34 for me.
Yeah.
Well, it's completely different now.
Oh yeah, none of Universal wasn't there. The sports complex wasn't there. There's a lot of that stuff down there that wasn't there now.
Well, that sports complex, that's a pretty cool place. Yeah. That's where the Braves had their spring training.
I mean, Epcot had only been open just a couple of years when I went the last time. So,
But, I was thinking, well, here's, because it was pretty packed. Which I imagine it's always packed because, it's a worldwide tourist destination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, I think we were the minority. There was more people, more non-English speaking people there than there probably was English speaking.
Wow.
Which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. You think in America, all right, February, it's not super cold in Florida, but nobody's on spring break. It's not vacation season.
A lot of Canadians.
It's not going to be too packed, but the place is packed. So, but it was it was a good experience.
What was the best ride down there?
The best ride? Well, I'm a roller coaster person, so I'm going to go with the Hulk ride at the Islands of Adventure at Universal Studios. Yeah, it shoots you off instead of going up slowly. It shoots you off into the ride. So
wow,
it's always been one of my favorite though. But they all pretty fun though. So
all right, who sat beside you on that ride?
Well, I sat beside a bunch of people.
But on the Hulk ride.
Oh, my brother-in-law went down there too because
yeah,
his daughter's on the cheerleading team.
Oh, okay,
so,
all right.
My brother-in-law and his wife, they came down there, and
so now it's a family vacation.
Yeah,
I'm beginning to see the picture now.
But it also worked out because you just jump in the single riders line.
Yeah.
And you get on there a lot quicker. So I was sitting up a bunch of next to strangers, most of the time. So whatever.
Funny.
So it was fun though. It was good.
So the Hulk ride at Universal, did you say?
Yeah, and of course if you're Harry Potter fans,
comes highly recommended by Coach Hoath.
That's right. So I would encourage
any scary adventures that y'all had while you were down there? I mean, any that you can talk about.
Yeah. Not that I think of.
What happens in Orlando
stays in Orlando. Right. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
It was okay. I think it was. I think for those guys that were down there, there was 18,000 cheerleaders. Wow. So
great.
For a high school male, they were probably in heaven for the last week though. Being outnumbered by that much females for that given time, I can imagine it was pretty rough on them.
Don't you know?
So, but everything was fine. I don't think there's, to my knowledge, nothing bad happened. So.
But that's like what, a 14-hour drive down and 14 hours back?
Yeah, well, it took us 14 hours to get down there.
Oh, okay.
It took us 11 to get back. So, but I think we made a few more stops on the way down. We drove through the night, so we didn't stop as much.
Bus driver was heading to the barn.
Yeah, so it was good though.
Good deal.
I realized that it's a lot easier to ride on trips than to drive. So I got home, I told my wife, I said, look, anytime we go on a trip now, you're driving. Yeah. I'm going to sit and watch Netflix the entire time or something.
Yeah, I'm sure Summer had something to say about that.
Yeah, she's like, no.
Well, it won't be long. Your son will be driving.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's scary, too.
And you want to know something? You immediately become an old man when that happens.
I know, you're right.
You do, don't you? Don't you, Coach?
It's true.
Yeah.
Sure do.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you start talking like this and waking up later in the morning and things start to hurt.
Well, that's happening now.
Yeah. You hear snap, crackle, pop, and it ain't your cereal.
That's right. That's true. It ain't no bowl of Rice Krispies, I can tell you that. So what else we got coming up sports-wise? I mean, right now, kind of with the NCAA, that's about all you've got as far as basketball goes. But they're really
college baseball just started.
Yep.
And you've got district tournaments in high school.
Yes, you do. Columbia Central would be playing in Lawrenceburg Saturday night.
Friday night.
Is it Friday night?
Friday night.
Is it Friday night, tomorrow night? Or Friday night? So I forget where
The 15th.
we're on Wednesdays
and
now.
I think if they win, they're guaranteed a home region game, I believe,
Yes.
too. So
Yes,
which
which
would
will
be
be like next Tuesday
Right.
back here.
Yep.
But if they lose, then I'll have to go.
But aren't they playing the top seed to start with?
They might be. But I give Coach Campbell a lot of credit, Going into this year with
Yeah.
basketball,
Absolutely.
there was a lot of questions. They lost like 7 or 8 seniors last year. So essentially the only person that returned from last year's team that played any was Dontavius Brown. So they got such a whole new group
Well,
out
man,
there
I'm
playing.
going to tell you what, Dontavius is a force to be reckoned with.
He is. He is.
When he
He's a
does
good
his
guy.
double slam in your face,
I know.
you know that you've been slammed on. And it makes that gym go nuts.
I worked with a man that when he played his high school basketball, he was going to Carver Smith
Yeah.
back in the day. He said the regular season they didn't win a single game. They got in the tournament, district tournament,
Yeah.
and then and all. He said they won the whole thing.
That's
Won
wild.
the state in their division, but before that they had never won a game.
That's so crazy.
And talking about Carver Smith, I believe I saw something on Facebook today. This is the 50th anniversary of when they closed Carver Smith down.
Mm-hmm.
And there were like 50 seniors, I believe, that year. And then they brought everybody over to Columbia Central. So it was like, this is like 50th anniversary that happened.
And then all the junior high kids
Yeah.
went to Whitthorne, and
Right.
then the elementary kids went to different elementary schools
Right.
or whatever.
And speaking of anniversaries, football season coming up this year. It'll be our 10th anniversary of the 2009 state runner-up team.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of laid the foundation. So we're going to have to try to reach out to some of those guys and see if we can have them come be recognized for one of the games this year.
There's no pressure on you to get us back there.
Of course not. Of course not.
You just brought your own pressure up. You know that.
I know.
don't you?
I
Okay.
know. And,
All right.
it's that's the goal each year, to do a little better and one game at a time. And you never know.
What are we looking at as far as running backs are concerned right now?
Running backs, we get our little. We'll be a sophomore now, the Biggers kid.
Bigger
which,
kid? Okay.
He's working hard in the weight room right now, which is good.
Good.
Um,
My hope is that he's got the other stuff under control.
yeah, that's something.
That was
I think
unfortunate
we'll
that
fix.
all that happened.
Right,
but,
it was. And that's just. I think that's just part of the immaturity of
Yeah.
coming into high school, and obviously that situation that night was tough, but he's got to work on becoming more of a complete back. He runs the ball pretty well, but I told him, we got to work on your pass protection and your catching too.
Yeah.
We got to work on some of that.
But by the same token, it was not all the kids' fault.
Oh
No.
that
No.
night, that instant.
On
I'm
that
just
particular
saying.
Play, no. That was a lot.
Yeah, a lot happened. Yeah,
There were a lot of boom, 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 boom things that happened on that play.
it was.
And and it could have all been avoided if
Well,
they'd done their job.
It could have been avoided. You're right.
It
It very well could have been.
But that's water under the bridge.
Yeah.
But the part that was so really unfortunate about it was it happened in front of your guest players that were there.
Yeah, it did.
yeah.
And so
But on the lines talking about football, we did have 2 players sign college scholarships
Yeah.
last week. Dontavius obviously going to Bethel University,
Right.
and I think he's going to be on scholarship for football and basketball.
I was thinking he was.
if
Yeah.
my understanding. So I'm just excited to see him. Obviously, go to college and he's probably get most of it paid for, but to continue playing 2 sports, because that doesn't happen very much. Even at NAIA schools, that's still not a common thing. So
No.
for him to be able to do that, I'm excited for him. Then Darian signed with Missouri Western State University, Division II school. So excited to see him, getting a chance to continue his football career too.
Funny thing about Dontavius, I was there Friday for the I was there Friday, supposed to be the announcer for the student-teacher game. Unfortunately, that did not happen. But ran into Dooman, which is his nickname, and he had this funny hair stuff. You know? And I looked at him. I said, Dooman. I said, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm trying to find me a mustache. I said, there's one thing, man. Everybody knows who you are by your smile.
Yeah.
This kid smiles all the time. He's got the greatest smile in the world. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, you might as well get out from under that hair because everybody don't know who you are.
That's right. That's right.
Just a great athlete.
Well, and I think we ought to say hats off to the Wade kid from Spring Hill.
Yes.
Signing with Tennessee Tech. So,
Yep.
You know.
The Jaquise.
Yes.
Oglesby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's exciting, especially since he, missed almost pretty much the entire year with the knee injury. But he was a force.
Yeah.
I hate that he was injured.
But do coaches in college see past that year that they're not playing, that there's a possibility they're going to come back even stronger than what they were?
I think to an extent. I know when Kenyante, Kenyante's at UT Martin, but I think him not being able to play his senior year for some of the bigger schools, Tennessee, it showed some interest in him and some other bigger schools, but they were like, we need to see some of those senior highlights before we do anything. And with him not being able to show that, I think for that final push with the big schools, it kind of steered him away. Now with where he's going, they had full confidence in him anyway. So yes and no, and that's just speaking from that one incident. I could be wrong on certain athletes, but I think in his situation, it hurt him not being able to play.
Well, and I think it also has a lot to do with the type injury they have.
Right.
And of course, how far they've come with the different surgeries.
Right.
Like now on your knee surgeries, they scope 99% of them.
Yeah.
Back in the dark ages, they laid your knee open from one side to the other.
Right.
And went in and did the work, and you were basically done.
You were done, yeah.
You were done.
Yeah.
And then if you missed a season, if you had people looking at you before that season, they all went away. None of them stayed with you. They all went by the wayside.
So if you want to see some good basketball featuring Dontavius Brown on the Columbia Central High Lions, go down to Lawrenceburg on Friday night. And if they win that game, then we'll be hosting a regional game on Tuesday at Columbia Central.
We also have the rugby jamboree kicking off Friday.
Friday night, 5 o'clock.
Yep.
4 games with boys, actually half games, 20-minute games.
Yeah.
And 4 with girls. So, and if you have not seen the Lady Lions rugby team, come on out. They'll teach you how to hit.
I've said it before, some of them could probably play for me right now.
I guarantee they could.
Without a doubt.
See, now you could change the world, man. You could bring like 4 or 5 of those girls on and just change the world.
You're
Come
right.
on, coach, change the world.
That's a big step.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. We've had a good night. Had a real good night. Thank you, Coach and Coach.
Yes, sir.
Ty Cobb, thank you. Chip, Eddie. I'm Dan James. We're out of here. Bye.